So, I watched a video on YouTube and he made some kind of chopping knife thingamajig, zombie attack weapon stroke wood chopper, out of an old Farriers rasp. So I'm going to do the same. Going to give it a go. It's probably going to look like shit because it's my first go. But you never know, do you? So this is the Farriers rasp, or one of them should I say. That's the flip side of it, which is going to give us a nice texture on the blade. This is the other one, the second one. I know this one looks a bit newer and a bit better. And I got them free, which was a result. So we're now set up. I've got the grinder, goggles, glasses and some water. Apparently I need this to keep the metal cool because it's going to heat up while I'm grinding it, so we'll see. If it starts to look like it's hot, I'll give it a spray. I want to get it too wet because I'm holding a 240 volt metal bloody grinder, but we'll see. I've never done this before, so fingers crossed. Holy shit. Oh, that's going to last too long. So I can already feel the heat coming off of that already. It's heated up quite a bit. But we'll press on. It's going to take forever though. I'll be back in about 3 hours. So I've just spent the last 5-10 minutes cleaning. I imagine some of it's horse poo, but a lot of it's going to be hoof. That shit dries in really tough. So I've just had to scrape it out with my little pocket hopper nail. So onward and upward. That's right, that is steam coming off of there. We've had that good cooling down and it's still puffing away. So this is the much rougher side. I think there's less to cut, but it's obviously a lot rougher than the other side, a lot higher ridges. But this, when it's flat, well hopefully because of the sort of little crevices inside it, like the little back bits that are cut out down here and here and here, it should give a much nicer pattern on this side. I'm showing it on both. Shit the bed. That's taking some serious grinding, that is. It's a good look though. It's coming off. Admittedly it's a bit dirty. And obviously because I'm spraying it with water and it's hot, it's rusting quite quickly, or showing up the rust. But yeah, it's definitely getting there, that's for sure. So this is the end I've done. Flip that bad boy around and start on this end. So, that's the first stage of the grinding done. Ground off all the teeth. As you should be able to see if I go side profile. It's now virtually flat. Whereas it had massive teeth on it before. And it's all nice and flat. So what we'll do now is dry it up, clean it up, and then draw a knife on it, I suppose. Not that I know how to draw a knife. I'll have to find a picture on the internet. So this is my rudimentary sketch of a blade. This is the end, so this will be the top of the blade here. This will actually be the blade. I'm going to leave that on, the file edge on there, because it looks rough and ready. I'm going to shim for the edge down here to a point on the end. And then this is my handle. Well, this is the start of my blade. I'm going to take a notch out here, curve the blade up, and then I'm going to take a piece out here for my thumb. And then I'm going to take out finger, what do you call it? So that it fits in my hand. Funnily enough, I'm right-handed, so I held it in my left and drew with my right, but I imagine it will fit either way then. as long as I round all the edges off, and I'll take the back off here. That's the point, leaving the spike on the back for the handle. Cool. This is how far I got in there, as you can see. You just put a little bit of pressure on sideways and that blade starts to cut. I imagine they're quite brittle, so you've got to be careful with them. Maybe they shatter, I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. So, things are hotting up. Got some serious sparkage going this time. So I'm going to video it. See if you lot can see it. How's that looking? That's about right. Let's fire this bad boy. Well, I don't want to blow my own trumpet or anything, but this is really is. Look at this. Virtually fits perfectly in my hand. Needs obviously some cleaning up, and obviously I couldn't just have it like that because the shock would be ridiculous. But I'll coat it with something, I'm sure. Paracord, tape, don't know. We'll find out. So today we're going to progress the cutting, grinding part of this knife thing that I'm making. I was going to try and do it all with just the angle grinder, but I haven't got a vise. I've got a crappy workbench which is a bit wobbly, but I haven't actually got a vise. So what I've done is I bought a bench grinder thing, wheel, which you'll see in a minute, and I've screwed that down to my crappy workbench. And I'm going to use that because then I can hold the knife to shape the handle and all of that a little bit, hopefully. It's not a very good one, it was like 20 quid, so we'll see how it goes. Attached onto my workbench, and my workbench is seriously wobbly. Watch this. Quality. So what I'm doing here, I'm just shaping the blade a little bit in the handle, in here, taking the rough bits out. So I took the bench grinder and tried to make the knife edge on the blade, but as you can see, a few passes and all I did was take a tiny little bit off. I think I'd probably run out of disc before or wheel before I actually got anywhere near that, so I'm going to go back to the angle grinder because it's faster and more power, and we'll see how that goes. So I tried the grinder, the grinding blade, sorry, and the grinding blade was rubbish. It was absolutely bugger all. So I took the 40 grit sander to it. It's polished it up lovely, but it's still not taking enough metal away, so I might go back to the bench grinder. So what I've done, I've bolted the knife down to the desk, to the crappy workbench. And the reason I've done this is because I was trying to grind the blade down on the little bench grinder, again the cheap crappy one, and it was taking forever. And whilst it was going alright, as you can see, the blades come down. It's not too bad. It was just taking forever. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go buy a better quality grinding disc for my angle grinder, and in this position it's a fair bit more solid because I've screwed it to the table, as you can see. I should, in any luck, have that all ground down. I want to take it sort of to there, the blade, because although I've put an edge on it here and it's actually quite sharp already, I was chopping this piece of wood. Where's the chopping bits? Here, but because the blade's so thick across its width, it doesn't really cut very well. So what I've done, I've ground it down using the angle grinder, but with a grinding disc on it, and it took bloody ages. And then I've just finished it up with the, I think it's a 40 grit sanding flat disc thingamajig. It's actually taken the profile down quite a bit with the grinding. It's made it quite tidy. I'm quite impressed with. So now flip it over to the other side. So then, that's my first ever knife build done, or chopper, whatever you want to call it. It was quite an experience, I have to say. I've used power tools for work, drills, that kind of thing, but I've not really ever used an angle grinder, never had a bench grinder. And it was really, really interesting actually, working with them, and you know, all the sparks and the mess and the bits of metal flying around. Thanks for watching my video. If you've got any questions or anything, then feel free to ask. If you just want to be a dick, then you carry on and just be a dick. Thanks again. Bye.